Have you ever witnessed two people who don't need to say much to express how deeply they feel? No, "I love you" is uttered, but every small gesture, every accidental glance, and every light laugh is enough to convey the message. That's how ARMY felt watching Jimin and Jungkook's live broadcast that day. What initially seemed ordinary, simple, and even devoid of any major concept, turned into one of the most precious moments. 2 hours that felt like a gift, filled with small details that turned out to hold profound meaning. From the start, the atmosphere was different. Jimin opened the live with a soft greeting, his voice slightly shy yet warm. Jungkook responded casually, then leaned toward Jimin as if the slightest distance wasn't worth having between them. The closeness couldn't be hidden, and for ARMY, small details like these are priceless gems. The brief embrace they shared may have seemed trivial, but to those who have followed Jikook's journey over the years, it felt like home. There was comfort, there was longing, there was something only two people who had been through so much together could understand. When Jimin joked about his weight and then glanced at Jungkook for a reaction, the world seemed to stop for a moment. Not because his words mattered, but because of the way he sought validation from Jungkook. And when Jungkook simply smiled, silent but meaningful, ARMY knew there was a hidden confession there. Jungkook always pays attention even to the smallest details. The broadcast continued with light conversation, but each sentence carried layers of emotion. "I miss you," Jimin said suddenly. 3 simple words that brought a moment of silence. Jungkook didn't answer immediately, but his gaze, his expression, were enough to convey the message. ARMY knew there was a silent conversation going on that only the two of them could understand. The moments deepened when they began talking about the future. Jungkook, usually laid back, suddenly sounded resolute. "Next spring, no matter what, we have to come up with something. We can't put it off any longer." The words echoed, not just a promise to ARMY but to themselves as well. It was as if Jungkook wanted to assure them that no matter what, their journey would continue. But as usual, Jungkook didn't let the atmosphere get too serious. He quickly changed the subject, joked about the day's concept, and then laughed with Jimin. This was their strength, balancing intensity with lightness, making everything feel natural. One of the most adorable moments was when Jungkook noticed Jimin's lips. "Put on lip balm," he said suddenly. Jimin refused with a laugh, but Jungkook insisted, almost scolding him in a spoiled tone. "Dry," he shouted. The ARMY watching knew it wasn't just about the lip balm. It was a show of attention. Jungkook cared about the little things, even details that others might not notice. And Jimin? He just laughed because he knew the attention came from a genuine place. Shortly afterward, Jimin showed them a photo of himself, which Jungkook had apparently taken. "Are you sure you want to show that?" Jungkook asked, as if hinting that some things were better kept private. And perhaps he was right, because before that they had also seen another photo, one that only the two of them had seen. Something too personal to share with the world. Jimin's subsequent confession both shocked and amused many fans. "Every day he comes into my room while I'm sleeping, records me, and then leaves," he said with a laugh. Jungkook didn't deny it, even adding a playful song. From the outside this might seem strange, but to ARMY, this was Jungkook's way of showing his affection. Paying attention, documenting, and saving Jimin's moments even when Jimin wasn't aware. A simple yet real form of love. Then a viewer's comment came, "You two make a perfect couple." Jungkook read it aloud. He didn't miss it, didn't try to avoid it, didn't pretend not to see it. He let the words linger in the air. And in that silence, there was a kind of unspoken confession. The climax of intimacy came when Jungkook slipped his hand inside Jimin's shirt. "Are you looking for trouble?" Jimin asked with a surprised laugh. "It's warm in here," Jungkook replied calmly. Then teasingly he asked, "If I get in trouble, how will you punish me?" It was a question that sounded light-hearted, but left a sweet tension that was hard to describe. ARMY held their breath. They know behind the joke there is something deeper. Another unforgettable moment was when Jimin sang softly, "Who is my heart waiting for?" Jungkook put down his cup, looked Jimin straight in the eye, and then asked seriously, "Who are you really waiting for?" There was no answer. Only silence followed. But it was in that silence that the most honest answer came. Their broadcast was filled with laughter, jokes, stories from the past, and even memories of their travels together. Jimin recounted the moment a shop owner in Vietnam called him beautiful. Jungkook added, "He probably thinks you're so sweet." The word sweet may be simple, but when it came from Jungkook's mouth, it felt different. There was a warmth that couldn't be hidden. The 2 hours passed quickly like a dream. When the live ended, many felt empty, but also full. Empty from wanting more, full from having witnessed something so real. Even afterward, Jungkook continued with his solo live broadcast for another 2 hours, as if it wasn't enough time for him to share. Jikook never explicitly said, "We love each other." But they didn't need to. Because in every interaction, in a glance caught on camera, in a small, often seemingly accidental touch, everything spoke volumes. They showed love in the most sincere, simplest, and most beautiful ways. From an awkward hi to a sincere, "I miss you." From a joke about lip balm to the lingering question, "Who is your heart waiting for?" All were proof that love doesn't always have to be expressed in words. Sometimes, love is felt more deeply in silence, in small gestures, in laughter that only the two of us can understand. That night we weren't just watching live. We were witnessing love, in its softest, most honest, and most undeniable form. And finally, when the screen went dark and the broadcast ended, we all paused. Those 2 hours felt like a brief journey into a world that should have belonged only to the two of them, but was generously shared with us. It wasn't just entertainment, but a reminder that there is love that needs no definition, there is closeness that needs no name, and there is a bond that remains real even if it's never expressed. Jimin and Jungkook may never have said directly, "We love each other." But we knew from every little attention, from the laughter that only came when they were together, from the look that spoke louder than any words. That was love in its simplest and purest form. And for us, ARMY, being able to witness that moment was a gift. Because behind the grand stage, the spotlights, and the roar of the entertainment world, there were two hearts finding a home in each other. That night wasn't just a live broadcast. It was a story. A story we will treasure, remember, and talk about again. Proof that sometimes love doesn't need big confessions, it's enough to be present in small, sincere things. Jikook has shown it, and we are fortunate to have witnessed it.